Hey guys! I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha, as always, and I welcome you to my channel. I'm so grateful that you guys are listening, subscribing, and commenting. I really appreciate the support. And obviously, if you guys want to support me further, you can do that by going to my Patreon link and giving me $1 a month, $5 a month, whatever you guys prefer. In this video, I wanted to speak to you guys about something really fascinating to me and something that I've just discovered a name for. Actually, a friend of mine, a female INFJ friend, used this phrase to describe this thing that we do as INFJs, and I was like, wow, this is actually perfect. It's a perfect name for it. Now, obviously, you've seen the title of this video, so you know what it's called. It's called a thought mission. And I want to give you an example of it so you can understand where I'm going with it. As INFJs, and maybe other people do this as well, I don't really know what goes on in people's minds, of course, but as INFJs, we definitely go on these thought missions, I would say daily, if not weekly, if not hourly sometimes, right? So definitely weekly, definitely sometimes daily, sometimes even hourly, right? And so what's a thought mission? For example, for me, for currently I'm thinking a lot about abundance and my money memories. So I'm thinking about, how do I deal with money? What do I think of when I am paying a bill? Do I have a negative thought or a positive thought? What do I think of when I'm earning money? Is it easy for me to earn money? Is it easy for me to accept money? And all this is coming up because obviously I have to start asking and marketing myself. I have to start saying this Patreon thing, every single time in the videos. And at first I was really uncomfortable with it. I was like, whoa, is this really nice? I'm asking for money, I'm asking for support. Like, why would I do that? I'm an independent female, etc. All this stuff came up for me. All of these memories, all of these triggers, all of these things, that shadow stuff, the slimy stuff. And I started wondering about it. I'm like, why? I'm doing all these free videos for people. Why am I not allowed to ask for $1 a month? Come on, you drop change like that crazily all the time and don't even care. So what's the big deal when I am providing value, right? And so I went through a lot of these thought missions. I started thinking to myself, what is going on here? Why am I dealing with this insane shadow, insane trigger when it does not make any sense? And I started going back into my life, going back to my childhood, thinking about my parents, the way they dealt with money and all that stuff, right? Now, as you guys can notice, I'm more comfortable asking for the Patreon thing because I've dealt with all that stuff. But that happened because of the thought mission I went on, right? And so that's, again, just one of the thought missions I'm on right now. There's a couple others that I'm dealing with as well about fearlessness, about courage, and other things like that. Things that come up in my daily life or things that happen because I've had a conversation. It causes goosebumps and I'm like, oh, this is important. I need to think about this kind of thing, right? And so as INFJs, and the reason my friend started talking about it is because she's on a thought mission right now because of something that happened to her as well. Now, of course, it's personal to her, so I'm not going to share it. But I love the fact that she made this phrase for me to use. And I'm so thankful, Eleanor. So thought missions, right? And so I want to explain this a little bit more because if you're a non-INFJ, you're probably thinking to yourself, this is insane. Do you guys really actually do this? Of course, there are physical missions that people go out on, obviously, right? You might be like, ooh, I want a red, white, and black rollerblade, and that's the only color I'm going to accept. And so you go to all the stores in your vicinity, in your city, and you go and find that particular rollerblade color that you're looking for. I went on this mission. That's why I'm talking about it. When I was younger, I think I was 14. I was like, I saw these rollerblades in a magazine, but it was from a magazine in America, and I was living in the Middle East at the moment, and I was like, no, I want these colored rollerblades. I don't want anything else. Those are actually my favorite color combinations, red, black, and silver. So I went to a couple of stores because I was still only young and I didn't have a car and I only had a couple of stores nearby. So I went there, they didn't have those colors, and I was so disappointed. Now, of course, if I was going to go on the same mission, I'd go everywhere. And I've done these missions as well where I have had a car and I've had the freedom, and I went to at least 15, 20 stores looking for this particular item. Now, of course, that's a physical mission, and we do these as well as INFJs. But because we're introverts, we spend a lot of time on thought missions, right? Because thought missions, you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to talk to anyone. You don't have to do anything. You just sit in your room and you go on a quest in your head. Now, of course, you're going into your imagination. So a lot of our thought missions have to just do with our imagination. We're thinking about, what would happen if we did this? And what would happen if we did that? And if we had a boyfriend who lived in Prague, what would happen? Would I move to Prague for him? Or would I not move to Prague? Would I tell him that we're going to live 6 months here and 6 months there, etc., etc.? Yeah, these are the kind of things that we go through. Now, being a digital nomad, being the fact that I always move around, these are one of the questions that I'm always going through. If I did fall in love with someone, if it happened, if it rarely happens, but if it did happen, if I did want to be with someone, but he lives somewhere else, how would we do it? And this is another thought mission I spend a lot of time thinking about. Would I move with him? Or would I ask him to spend 6 months in Chiang Mai and 6 months there? Or would it not work out because I don't want that kind of lifestyle? Or would he be like, no, I'm not interested in that, and he would break up with me, So these are the kind of things that we're always thinking about. Now, that's another thought mission. And so we go on these missions because, of course, our imagination is our superpower, but also we just love thinking in general. I think INFJs are happiest when they're sitting in their room thinking and imagining and wandering off on all of these amazing, interesting thought missions, right? And I can bet you, if you are an INFJ, you are probably at least on 5 or 6 of these thought missions, if not more. Probably a lot more, but at least minimum 5 or 6 of these thought missions without realizing that you're calling it a thought mission, obviously. The reason I wanted to name it is because it's so fascinating, because now I can be like, all right, cool. Now I'm going to sit in my room, I'm going to sit on my couch, and I'm going to stare off into space. Now, instead of saying stare off into space, which sounds so boring and random and mundane, blah, you can be like, I'm going on a thought mission. And it makes you seem like you're like a James Bond character, and this is fun, and it gives a little bit more meaning to it. It's not just that you're sitting and staring off into space, which seems like a waste of time sometimes. You're going on a thought mission. You're sitting down and you are going on this mission to learn about yourself, or learn about the universe in some way, learn about the environment in some way, learn about something about someone else. And all of these learnings is going to make you grow as a human being. It's going to make you expand and develop into a bigger, better, brighter version of yourself, right? And so now you can actually do these thought missions. You can sit on your couch all you want, right? And I do this a lot. You can sit on your couch as much as you want, or in your bed, or wherever is your comfy spot, and you can go on these thought missions and not feel bad about it, because it's not a waste of time, right? That's the reason I wanted to do this video, is because I myself have had this shadow, this thing inside of me that says, oh, you're wasting time, don't do that, don't sit and think. Don't sit and imagine or dream or visualize, it's a waste of time. Don't do that, go do something real, physical with your life, right? Something tangible, something you can say, oh, this is a dollar amount to it, right? But as an INFJ, I would imagine, and even as I think an INTJ perhaps does that as well, but as an INFJ, absolutely, this is necessary for our psyche, it's necessary for our mental health, and it's necessary for us to understand the world better. So it's not a waste of time. And I feel like if we put a name to it and we call it a mission rather than I'm just wasting my time and thinking, I think if you just call it a thought mission, it makes it a little bit more formal. It formalizes the whole process and makes it a little bit less like a waste of time and more like I'm going and doing something to improve myself, right? And so I wanted to kind of maybe this helped me a lot. So maybe it'll help you guys as well. And so now whenever I'm going, and I do, as I said, I do this a lot, during my day, I will sit on my couch and I'll have a notebook with me and a pen, but mostly those are just for show. Because I just sit there and I stare off into space and I start thinking about all of these things and I start learning about myself and, oh, this is what I think about things. Ah, I see, okay, this is what I think about that. Oh, I see, okay. And so I learn about all this stuff. Sometimes I write it down, but mostly those are just for show, as I said. And I'm just letting my mind wander and learn about itself. How do I think about the world? What do I think about this person? What do I think about this particular thing I'm doing? And all this causes us to, or at least for me and for INFJs in general, we gain all these insights about ourselves, about the world, about everything that we're interested in knowing about. It makes us a better, as I said, a bigger, better version of ourselves and teaches us a lot. And it helps us grow. And so it's absolutely necessary, right? So I don't want you guys to think of it as a waste of time. And I know a lot of you guys message me with that, And I really want you guys to just now think of them as thought missions. You're going on a mission. It's not a physical mission, but it's definitely an important mission. and you're going on a mission to understand yourself better, using these thoughts, using your imagination, using your introverted intuition, these are all your superpowers. So instead of berating yourself for it, instead of saying that you're wasting your time, don't. Just own it, right? As I said in the last video as well. Own it and just keep on going with it because it's important. It's extremely important for us in order to learn about ourselves and to become better versions of our INFJ selves. All right. Again, I hope this makes sense to you guys. If you guys are interested in supporting me further, you're more than welcome to do so on Patreon. My link is in the description below, and you can give me $1 a month or $5 a month, whatever you guys prefer. And I shall see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.